So this story is called Simp, and Simp is the name of this little dog. It's by John Birmingham. He's a British writer. He lives in England. Sometimes this book is called Cannonball Simp. In fact, on the inside, we can see the other title, Cannonball Simp. Do you guys all know what a cannonball is? Yes. Round ball that shoots out of a cannon. Simp was what most people would call an ugly little dog. She was fat and small and had only a stump for a tail. Her owner had found homes for her brothers and sisters, but could not persuade anybody to take Simp. So, in order to get rid of her, he decided to leave her somewhere, hoping that somebody would find her and take her in. One evening, he took Simp outside the town and just dumped her near a rubbish pit. Now, because Mr. Birmingham writes in England, they call a garbage dump, they call it a rubbish pit. So poor Simp, she's just getting thrown away like she was garbage. She's thrown away at the rubbish pit, the garbage dump. I have a little tag in my book which says, stop and draw. So on our paper, we're going to make sure we've got our name up at the top. Make sure your name's up there. And we're going to draw in box 1. And we're going to draw something that shows the first part of the story that we've just heard. So I could draw the rubbish pit and poor Simp just getting left behind by her owner. Or I could just draw a picture of Simp, because on page 1 we also heard a description. Simp is a small, fat, kind of ugly dog with a stumpy tail. So I could draw a picture of Simp, or I could draw a picture of Simp getting thrown out at the garbage dump. I'm going to go for the garbage dump one. You guys choose what you want. So there's my garbage dump and Simp there. All right, there's my picture 1. Poor little Simp watched the van disappearing into the distance. She did not know what to do. Then darkness fell. By the light of the moon, she explored the dump and found an old armchair to spend the night in. Rats came out and looked curiously at her. When Simp said how hungry she was, one of them gave her a piece of bread.
"But you'll have to go in the morning," he said. "It's hard enough for us rats to live. There wouldn't be enough food for you as well."
When it was light the next morning, Simp left the rubbish pit and wandered off in the direction of the town. She tried to make friends with people who were going to work, but nobody seemed to care about her. She spent a long time searching for something to eat, but she could not find anything. Then she came across some dustbins. Now again, this book is written in England. So in England, they call their garbage cans dustbins. We say garbage can, they say dustbins. She came across some dustbins. She started looking through them for food and did not notice the cats, who were angrily watching her. "That's my dustbin," hissed one of the cats as he pounced. Simp ran for her life, with the cat just behind her. She was running so fast that she did not look where she was going. And it says, "Stop here," so I can add a picture to box number 2. Now, I could draw something like this, the cat chasing Simp, or I could draw Simp looking through the garbage cans, or I could draw Simp trying to make friends with people, or I could draw Simp spending the night on an old chair in the garbage dump and the rats talking to her. Those are all the different things we learned about in this story between the first picture that we drew and now where we're stopping. So you choose. I don't know, I think I'm going to do maybe Simp looking through a garbage can, what they call a dustbin. So there's my picture of Simp looking through a garbage can or dustbin. Got you, said the dog catcher. Two large hands grabbed Simp, and she was put in the back of the van with the other strays that the dog catcher had collected. Almost all the other dogs in the van had homes. We often get picked up, they said. But what will become of you with no home to go to, and you don't even have a collar? Simp became more and more worried as she talked to the other dogs. Who can tell what might happen to you now? One said. You're not very pretty, are you? Said another. I doubt if anybody will want to give you a home, said a third. The van pulled into the yard of the dog pound. The doors were opened and the dogs driven toward the kennels. When the dog catcher was looking the other way, Simp saw her chance. She jumped up on some boxes and was away over the wall. Simp kept running and running until she was well out of the town. Then, because she was still frightened, she crept into some thick bushes to hide. By the time it was dark, she had become very hungry, and she set off again down the road. Then, in the distance, Simp saw lights. They were the lights of a circus. And I'm going to think, do I want to draw a picture of Simp kind of hiding in the trees at night? Or Simp jumping over the wall and getting away from the dog catcher? Or Simp in the back of the van with lots of dogs? Or Simp being caught by the dog catcher? Your choice, because that's all the different things that we learned about between picture 2 and now. I think I might draw Simp jumping over the wall. She went towards them, hoping she might find someone there who would give her some food. Perhaps after that she could curl up under a caravan where it would be a little warmer. These are caravans here, these sort of trailers. She crept up to a trailer, climbed on a box, and looked through the window. Inside was a clown who was very surprised to see a little dog peering at him. He opened the door and he beckoned to Simp. To beckon means to wave your hand or say, "Come on in, come here, come here." It's to beckon. "You look very tired and hungry," said the clown, and he gave Simp a large meal, which she gobbled up. It was warm and comfortable in the caravan, and the clown let Simp lie on his bed. She was soon fast asleep. All right, so I've got my little stop notice, which means we're going to draw a picture. Now maybe you draw a picture of the circus, the tents and the animals, or maybe you draw a picture of the clown, or maybe you draw a picture of Simp eating the food and sleeping on the bed. You go, or the caravan, anything that was in the story that we just heard. Now again, you guys choose what you want to draw. I think I'm going to draw the clown. There we go, I've drawn my clown in. The next morning, the clown showed Simp around the circus. There were many tents, caravans, and animals. Simp met a young elephant and a lion. Everybody seemed happy and friendly, but the clown was worried. People did not like his act anymore. The clown told Simp exactly what he did. He showed her the cannon that fired a rubber ball through a paper hoop. Just then, the ringmaster came up. "Unless you improve your act by tonight, you'll have to go," he said to the clown. Simp had an idea. "That rubber ball is exactly the same size as me when I'm all curled up," she thought. "I just have time to work out a plan before the show starts." The evening performance had begun. Just before the clown's act, Simp climbed into the cannon while nobody was looking. The man who was to fire the cannon peered inside and, seeing Simp curled up, thought that she was the ball. Simp's heart was beating fast as she waited for the exciting moment to arrive. And there's my stop sign. So box number 5. You could do a picture of the clown showing Simp around. Maybe the lion and the elephant might be in your picture. Or you could show a picture of the ringmaster coming up and talking to the clown. Or you could show Simp starting to climb into the cannon. The circus managers had a look of boredom on their faces as they watched the clown. "He'll really have to go," they said. There is a rolling of drums. And through the air flew Simp, straight for the paper hoop. Right through the hoop she went. The crowds roared with delight when they saw that the Cannonball was a little black dog. The clown was so surprised to see Simp that he almost dropped the hoop. Simp landed on a drum and stood there proudly while the audience cheered and cheered. She had really enjoyed being fired from the cannon. Then the clown and Simp were put on a horse, and they went round and round the ring. Everybody was still wildly clapping and cheering. After the show, the ringmaster gave a party for Simp and the clown. He invited the little elephant, the lion, and the monkey Simp had met, and they all ate until they were quite full. The ringmaster told the clown and Simp that their act was the best that the circus had ever had. And so Simp lived happily with the clown and traveled around the countryside with the circus. The act became famous, and people came especially to see the little dog fired from a cannon. And that is how she became known to be called Cannonball Simp. Stop picture there so we could draw a picture of Simp on the train, or Simp at a party with the other animals, or of course Simp being fired from the cannon, going through the hoop, riding around on the back of the horse, the crowd cheering. You guys decide what you're going to draw. And that is the story of Cannonball Simp.